Clicks, Aaron Matidis, Katharis and Kelm, but we'll get underway with Pepe Cavalier on 88.9 Win FM.
They're going to need to show a fair bit of grit like they did last week, Spotswood, if they're going to get over the line today. Grand final spot on the line. Williams tries to wrestle his way through and win the clearance. He gained plenty of meterage, but didn't escape the tackle.
Benches for Spotswood, starting Cooney, Patak, Wilson and Del Grosso.
Umpire throws it up again. Murray Boyd gathers it with both hands. Claimed in a tackle by Greenhoff. Ball up again. Just inside the first 30 seconds, Boyd gets a slap fist out into space. McCarg read it best, got onto the football, kicks up towards half-forward, searching for James, who arms outstretched and diving on the turf here at Avalon Airport Oval, takes the mark. He puts it inside the 50, up to half-forward there. Redpath was waiting. Walsh spoiled it down, front and centre Galea, and Ping for holding the ball. Free kick to Jordan Boyd, who makes an instant impact for the Woodsman.
Yeah, that's what he brings, just a bit of extra energy, both with the ball and without it. He's going to be a huge boost to the Spotswood team. They missed him last time against Deer Park.
Boyd from half back in front of the standing room area, that kicks long down the line. That's a good mark there, taken by Callard. Just in front of the Deer Park interchange bench. Dave Iacarino is out there, and he just took the mark.
Yeah, huge boost this for the Woodsman, and he looks pretty good too. So he has a good excuse for not coming up and doing an interview with us before the game.
Fair enough too. Maybe there was just a bit of a ploy there by Anthony Eames, but he goes short to Coper. He marks in front of his coach. Hard up against the boundary line. So
he had a good game against Deer Park last time out too, Toby Coper.
So Coper goes inside 50, 1-2 mark. Spot Murray Boyd at the back has been paid it. He had a wrestle there with his teammate. I think it was Bryden Hodgson, but Murray Boyd's been taking the mark, and he's going to go have a shot from 45 on a 45-degree angle.
Well, this is the big boost that Del Grosso coming back into the side gives them, even though I think he's on the bench at the moment, but it allows Murray Boyd to drift forward. He had his hands full last time out against Stewart, Greenoff and Kelm in the ruck. Now he can go up forward, and he can start off with an opening goal here.
Boyd, for the first score of the game, comes in, kicks on its way, looks very good off the boot. It's a goal to the Woodsman. They lead by that after 2.5 minutes. Spotswood one straight. Deer Park yet to score.
Well, that's a great start by the Woodsman. Not only have they got David Iacarino back, surprisingly, I think I might almost change my tip now, given he's back in the side. But Murray Boyd, who is released a little bit from the ruck duties today, has gone forward, kicked a goal. He's one of they're their two totems. Iacarino and Murray Boyd, the leaders both physically and spiritually. So it's great for them to get an early goal, and that's just what Spotswood needed.
And Dylan Callard, I feel, is another player. Tim Quick's gone to him in the early going. Needs a big game. Can kick bags of goals. Quick ball movement will suit him. Out of the middle, McCarg wins the clearance for Deer Park. It was a scrubby little ball. Knocked off it there was Burns. Galea again dives in. Good pressure, though, from the defence of the Woodsman. They hold it in. So one inside 50 for the Woodsman for one goal. That's the type of efficiency they need, and the Deer Park need to do something similar.
Chris Stewart's lined up deep forward.
Greenhoff knocks it down. Burns didn't claim possession, tried to tap it out, but he gave it to Harvey of the Woodsman. Kicks in the Coper direction, down the wing, spills out the Iacarino direction, spins, didn't get claimed in a tackle, got it back to Coper, scrubbers the ball up to the wing, Barling overran it, Bruin gets in there, Barling as well, claimed in a tackle there by Hodgson, spills out to the side, the Lions can go forward here. McCarg in the clinches had a couple of really good moments, lays it off to Barling, puts the Lions inside 50, Wong gets up there, couldn't quite bring down the mark, hand pass shovelled out for the Woodsman and they're away, out towards the logo on centre wing.
Ball clears, centre wing, bouncing ball favours Welsh. Oh, big clash there with Mills. Walsh is slow to get up. Mills just brushed it off like nothing happened. The kick goes to half forward, picked up by Wong on the bounce. He's outside 50. Low ball to Redpath. He marks in front of his eyes.
Brandon Walsh is coming off. He'll be seeing stars. Adam Cooney replaces him. You don't want to run into Jackson Barling or young Mills. Actually, it was. He's a very solid man.
So the ball's with the Redpath. He's got a 30-metre kick. He's tied up, hard up, not quite hard up against the boundary, about 5 metres in, so it's a tough one. He's in front of the standing room here at Avalon Airport Oval, in front of all the Deer Park fans.
Big kick this. They need him to stand up in Perkins' absence.
It's a level the scores early. Kicks on its way, pokes at it, bends back on the breeze nicely. It's a goal to Redpath, scores level here in the 2019 preliminary final. 1 goal apiece after 5 minutes.
Well, good goals early on for both sides. Murray Boyd at one end and Jack Redpath at the other, and both need big games today. With Jace Perkins out there, they really need Redpath to stand up, Deer Park, and Murray Boyd, with him not being the sole ruckman today, he will provide a big target up forward for Spotswood. So both kick goals early. It could turn into a bit of a shootout, this one. From a neutral's point of view, that'd be a good thing.
Just down here, guys, an update. Brandon Walsh, after coming to the bench, is just getting his left shoulder looked at after that collision. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets back on in a hurry. We'll keep you updated.
1 straight 6 apiece, 5 minutes gone. No blemishes on the scorecard. Back in the middle, Boyd and Greenhoff. Greenhoff wins it down. Mills slipped over. So did McCarg. Harvey goes in, wraps up Mills, tries to barge his way through. He's a hard man to hold in. Secondary bounce, just forward to the middle for the Woodsman.
Not only is Perkins not there, but the man who played on him last time, Davis, is not there either, and he was really important for Spotswood a couple of weeks ago, even though Perkins did kick those goals.
Yacarino coughed it up to Britton, gave it to McCarg. He's had about half a dozen touches already. Gave it back to Britton, but Boyd applied the pressure and saw him out of bounds.
Just another update, boys. Brandon Walsh has gone down into the rooms for Spotswood to get that shoulder looked at, so it'll be really interesting to see if he can actually get back out at all.
Going a man down early in conditions like this is not good.
Boundary throw in to the front of the pack. O'Brien overran it. It spills out to Greenhoff. Good hand pass to Mackenzie out in space. Kicks a long ball to the wing. James has got it covered. Normally good with his hands. He was wrapped up in a tackle by Matson Lynch, and it allows O'Brien to extricate the football. Gives it to Marks. Coming off halfback. Kicks over the head of Coper. Barling got the spoil. Tester goes in. Nastasi on ground level did well. Yacarino was there. Tester stood up. Caught by Boyd, whose pressure's been really good early.
Yeah, it's a good effort by Jordan Boyd early. Boyd, the last man to get up, hands the ball over to the umpire. Left half forward for the Woodsman. Scores level, 1 straight apiece. 7 minutes played opening quarter. Greenhoff won the hit out, but he gave away the free kick advantage. Paid Jordan Boyd, takes it, kicks a low ball inside 50. Could have been some holding. The umpire said no, play on. And he ends up with Mackenzie. Got a handball to Quick to Tester tonight, and a snap around the body. He's going to clear defensive 50. Williams is there, and it's well fisted away by O'Brien. And he lets them know about it, and so does Wayne Paddock. And we'll get the throw in. Left half forward for the Woodsman.
They're looking to move it on very quickly here. Spotswood use their pace advantage. Very fast track out there today. That's their trump card. They've got to get it on the outside.
Throw in 55 metres out from the Woodsman's goal. Still a goal apiece. They're holding on to Burns. They don't let him get away. Oh, he's not happy with that treatment. And he's given away a free kick, Shannon Burns. I think he felt he was unfairly dumped on the artificial turf.
And it's a free kick going Spotswood's way.
It wasn't the case at all.
It's a
50 against Amarantidis, who got in the way, and he wasn't really affecting the contest. So
Shannon Burns, it's very out of character for him. They did roll onto the fake grass near the fence, and Shannon Burns thought that was a bit rough, and then he pushed his opponent's head into it. So that was the start of it, and it's ended up favouring Spotswood. Now they've got to finish off with a goal.
Harvey, same spot as Boyd in the first minute. He misses. To the left, 117 Spotswood. Deer Park 1 behind. It was unnecessary from Burns because Harvey's tackle wasn't malicious at all.
No, I think it was just
it was an overreaction.
A bit of an accident. And Shannon Burns is normally very mild-mannered, so maybe that just indicates the stress levels of both teams.
Long ball out of defence. Galea goes up, couldn't bring down the mark. Barling gets onto it, gives it to Burns. Confronted by Marks, hand pass down the line. Didn't hit the target in Greenhoff. It spills out of play. Throw in.
Guys, just another update down here. Grant Williams, after having his left ankle be quite problematic over the last few weeks, is getting it taped up again. So more attention for the Spotswood bench.
Thanks, Nick. Throwing on centre wing. Murray Boyd wins it down. Galea's dispossessed. Williams, can he pick it up? He does. Goes back inboard. Little kick around the body. Bouncing ball. Goes to half forward. Wilson's there for the Lions. They miss out. Shannon Burns picks it up. Runs to 50. Kicks to full forward in the clicks direction. Too much on it. Goes through for a behind near side. Scores level yet again. 1-1-7 apiece. 9.5 played. Opening quarter. 2019 Division 1 preliminary final.
Harley Walsh plays on from the goal square, kicks in the Hodgson direction, slips through his fingers, but Nastasi over the back, closely checked there by Testa. And eventually it's out of play, but they gain some valuable meterage. Spotswood up towards the wing in front of the Lions interchange bench. 1-1-7 apiece, 10 minutes gone of this opening term in the Division 1 preliminary final.
We'll be hoping for a big game today. Nastasi was pretty quiet 2 weeks ago.
From the throw-in, Coper in the clinches. Coughed it up to Critharis. Burns gets in there. He's been busy. Bruin falls over. Thought there was a whistle, but there wasn't. They play on. The clearance goes the way of Greenhoff. Up inside the 50. Redpath knocks it down to Marks of the Woodsman. Stripped of the football. Out of defence come the Woodsman. Boyd again. Quick hands to Patak through the middle. Hand pass over the top to Lynch. Through the middle for Hodgson again. Oh, he was claimed in a tackle by Barling. Big hit. It spills out to Baxter Norton, who's wrapped up as well. Yeah, this is a good start for this game.
He was caught unawares there by Barling, who drove him into the cricket pitch, which looks very hard. So he'll be missing some skin off the elbows and knees there, I reckon, Hodgson.
So the ball up just forward to centre for the Lions. I think it's going to be a free kick going the Lions' way. It's to Greenhoff against Murray Boyd, sort of. It's going to Kelm.
Yeah, Kelm's in the ruck now.
Way. Yeah, so Kelm takes the free kick. He's inside the centre circles. And he goes out in the Stewart direction, clears his head. It's off hands now, loose ball. It's picked up there by Wong. He's gang tackled by two Woodsmen. And the umpire's going to come in and ball it up 40 metres out from the Lions' goal. Kick it to the swimming pool end in this opening quarter.
He'll be keeping a very close eye on James Wong, given his finals record.
1-1-7 apiece. Murray Boyd wins that hit out into space. Paddock gathers, gets the clearing defensive kick, but the owner goes as far as Barling. The bump ball, the umpire called play on. O'Brien's there laying the tackle, and we'll get a ball up centre wing out of side just in front of the scoreboard. 11 and a half gone, 1-1-7 apiece. Division 1 preliminary final, 88.9 Win FM.
Calm reaches over the top, wins it down. Galea. First hands to it, Marks escorts him over the boundary, who believes it was off Galea's foot, and he should have got out of bounds on the full. Just wasn't paid.
Look at the Deer Park forward line. They got Redpath in the square on Harley Walsh, but Chris Stewart's playing on Hines, and he's got a fair height advantage, so if they can get it in quick to him.
Callum put his arm over the shoulder of Greenhoff in the ruck, gave away the free kick, and then they claimed the advantage through Coper. He found Khaled at half forward. He kicked searching for Hodgson. It wasn't a good kick, and Barling was in the best spot to take the intercepting mark. He moves it on quickly to Amarantidis, out of half back for the Lions, kicks in the Clicks direction, too strong. And intercepting is Lynch.
Just misjudged it there, Clicks. He's missed a bit of football, maybe just short of a bit of form. Just ran underneath it there.
Lynch squares it up to Murray Boyd. He goes into the middle of the ground, fights Coper. Goes onto his right boot. That's a shocking kick. It wasn't 50 Peppy. Umpire said play on. Went in the O'Brien direction. He's lost possession. Amarantidis got it. They link by hand now. The Lions. The handball is behind Bruin. Put him under the pump now. And the Woodsman might do well here. It's not going to come out. Yeah, they have done well, the Woodsmen. There's three lines around the one Woodsman. They've forced the ball up and they'll get it just inside the centre square at half forward for Spotswood.
Their ball movement's still just a bit stodgy, Deer Park. You notice Spotswood move the ball much quicker and more efficiently when they get it out.
From the restart, McCarr got the clearance handball nicely back inboard to Bruin. A handball to dart to Mills. You've got runners now. Critharis has got it. He's looking for options. Goes in the Clicks direction. He marks. Well, no, he dropped it just outside the 50. He goes back in again to put some pressure on. Now Lynch gathers. Clicks is there as well. Dispossesses him. Pack forms on the 50 for the Lions. We'll get a ball up.
A few fumbles coming in for Deer Park just at key moments. Kevin Clicks again dropping a mark he should have taken. Just a few percentage points off at the minute.
Ball up at centre half forward for the Lions. Baxter Norton overruns it. Underneath is Darcy Wilson, and he was caught high. So a free kick to Spotswood at centre half back. 1-1-7 apiece. 13 and 3/4 minutes gone of this opening term. No score in the Division 3 grand final as yet. Kick out in the Hodgson direction. Calm reached over the top with the second juggle. Took the mark. And he'll put the Lions forward up towards Critharis. Had to wait a long time. There was good pressure there by Wilson in the end, who got the spoil and knocked it out of play at half forward for the Lions. Auburn-Vale with the first goal in the Division 3 grand final. 1 straight 6. Glen Orden yet to score.
Umpire throws it back in. It's Del Grosso and Kelm. Kelm used his strength, won the hit out. James can't pick it up. It might have been taken high or didn't have it. Yep, umpire agrees. It's a free kick. He handles quickly back to Burns on his left side. He's got plenty of space for Wong to lead into. Oh, well defended there by Hines. Did really well, got the fist away. And he laid a strong tackle there on Wong. Umpire calls play on. No holding the ball. Well done, Hines there.
Yeah, great effort there by Hines. Their defence is holding up pretty well at the moment, Spotswood. Deer Park can't get it in there very quickly though, so good early signs for the Woodsman down back.
So they use it by foot a couple of times, the Woodsmans, with Patak hard up against the boundary line on the outer side, centre wing. He goes long down the line in the Murray Boyd direction. Pepe, guess what happened?
Out of bounds on the full.
There it was, Pepe. On that outer side, that's where it always ends up.
Brandon Walsh is back up from the rooms and has been doing some run-throughs on the boundary, and Grant Williams is trying to work on his ankle, but he's still got the boot off.
Spotswood intercepted by Patak. He kicks in towards half forward, and then sliding in and taking a defensive mark is Barling. He's done a few good things defensively. That's a awkward-looking ball for Amarantidis, who made it work. And then shares it with Williams out wide.
He's really important today, Barling. He's their general down back. He's an enforcer. He's got to really keep these Spotswood forwards quiet.
Bruin strong through the hips, swiveled them and got out of the way, and then kicked up to half forward for Stewart, who took the mark and moves on quickly for Kratharis, who could have taken a step and gone. Instead, he just dinks the kick into the pocket for Redpath, who takes a good mark, and that is to his advantage leading into the space. He'll kick from a similar position to the area he kicked his first, their only goal so far. A bit of a tighter angle, but a little closer in.
Probably could have played on there, Kratharis, and had a shot. He's found a teammate, but Redpath's on a very sharp angle, so yeah, I mean, if he kicks the goal, it won't matter, but probably would have been a better opportunity to go himself there.
40 metres out. Tighter than 45 degrees. No worries.
Oh. Why not kick it to him when he kicks it like that? That was a lovely kick from Redpath. Good early start from him, a couple of goals early doors, and you know, a good opportunity there for Deer Park just to settle things down, because Spots would have been better in general play. They've looked quicker, they've moved the ball more efficiently, but look at the scoreboard. It's the Parkers who are on top, as they often are, so that'll just settle them down a bit.
First lead of the afternoon for the Lions. 2-1-13 they are. Spotswood 1-1-7, played 17 minutes of the first quarter. Winner to face Altona in next Saturday afternoon's Division 1 Grand Final. Around the grounds, it's still Auburn Vale 6 and Glenorden yet to score. It's Division 3 Grand Final. We've got the warning, I think, with the umpires, the 6-6-6. So we're still waiting for play to restart.
Yacarino and Cooney in the forward line for Spotswood. Both of them have been a bit quiet so far. Probably neither 100% fit.
Kelm reaches over top of Del Grosso, got it nicely down to Mills, but they go backwards. It ends up with McCarg. Britton's now at right half back, goes in ball, look for Kelm. It's a poor kick, it was Cade. Del Grosso took the mark. Marks run past and handball. I don't know who he handballed it to, but it might come off. Nastasi goes inside 50 to Cooney. Bounced at his feet there. Plenty of Woodsmen around the ball, ends up back with Cooney's outside 50, tries to sell a bit of candy, now the kick goes inside 50, quick sticks out of hand, Callard's there laying some pressure for the Woodsman. McCark comes in to help out the champ, he gathers up hard up against the boundary line, handballs a loopy one to McKenzie, he gains possession but he's wrapped up in the tackle immediately there by Connor Daly, and we'll get a ball up 45 around from the Woodsman's goal, hard up against the boundary line in the left forward pocket.
Jamie Madigan mentioned before the game the turnovers really cost them last week. Well, they've already turned it over a couple of times here, Deer Park. Aaron Britton, a poor kick there, really putting Spotswood on the front foot.
Boyd and Kelm in the ruck in the pocket, wins it down. Little dangerous ball to set a half back for the Lions into Burns' hands. Boyd lays about his 5th tackle of the day. It spills out to Wilson, but he's turned it over to Amarantidis, who gets the ball just a little too far for Wong, who has to knock Lynch out of the way. He did, no worries. Turns on a dime, he kicks it to Redpath, who's going to line up for number 3. And he is playing beautifully early, Jack Redpath.
What were the defenders doing there for Spotswood? So looking at each other, allowed Wong in.
Keystone Cops stuff there from the Spotswood defenders. They just ran into each other, and Deer Park have got a very open forward line. Spotswood really pushing numbers forward to try and keep the ball in their forward 50, but when Deer Park get it out, it's a pretty open forward line to kick into.
Redpath makes no mistake, he's got 3, they're only 3. And he looks a real threat in the early going. As we near time on in the opening term of the preliminary final, 3-1-19, Deer Park, Spotswood 1-1-7, having kicked the opening goal.
Yeah, well, he lost his opponent there, Redpath. Harley Walsh was sucked up the ground to take on James Wong, and he ended up running into a teammate, and Redpath was all alone in the goal square. So they need to tighten up on him, and they need to maybe make more of their opportunities when they have it in the forward line, Spotswood. They've got it up there plenty of times, but as we saw 2 weeks ago, they just seem to lack a bit of system going forward. Deer Park making the most of their chances.
A goal apiece in the Division 3 grand final. One straight each. The Hawks have levelled things up.
Lions with the last 3 goals of the game after Spotswood got the first. It's a 12-point lead. As we're into time on now of the opening quarter here on 88.9 Win FM. Umpire throws it back up. Del Grosso in the ruck against Kelm. Kelm reaches out nicely, got it down to Burns, who was favoured with the hit out as it was straight on his left foot. His kick goes inside 50, but only as far as Walsh for the Woodsman. He goes down centre wing. It's a good kick there. The mark's take on centre wing. The handball forward to Patak. The Woodsman look good here. The kick goes into the Cooney direction. Gathers on the bounce. No, he can't. Fumbled it. Now the Lions look to repel with a handball to McCarg, and now they ends up with Britton, who clears the defensive 50, kicks the centre wing in the Clicks direction, who took a good mark, judged it really well, plays on immediately, handballs inboard to Redpath. Will he get a favourable bounce? He does eventually, tries to shuck a tackle, but it loses out to Nastasi. He got it to Marks.
Marks kicks towards half forward. Boyd's got to beat 4, and he did really well. He fisted it close to the boundary line. McCarg had a lot to do. He kept it in the field of play, shrugs off Callard. He threw it away according to the Spotswood fans, and then Amarantidis didn't go for the mark on the wing, but it really didn't matter because Burns ended up with the footy, and he kicks towards Clicks, who might have had his arms chopped at the last. He dropped the football, an opportunity still for the Woodsman to extricate it. They can't, but they do at least equalise at half-back. It'll be balled up 55 metres out from the Lions' goal. Been a few moments where they've failed to communicate with one another when they've had a numerical advantage, Spotswood.
Jordan Boyd's just come off, the strapping on his shoulders come a bit loose. I don't think there's any other problem.
Toss back up, ball's just inside 50 for the Lions, and we'll do it all again.
No issue, guys, with Jordan Boyd, just getting it retaped.
Brandon Walsh is back on the field too, so that's good news for Spotty.
From the restart, a hurried kick out of the stoppage there by Stewart, who blazed away and missed everything. Going to be out of bounds on the full free kick to Harley Walsh. Glenorden 12 now. Orville 6 Division 3 grand final.
They need to tighten up in defence, Spotswood. They're a bit too open. Redpath, we've seen him just get right away from Harley Walsh at times.
So Harley Walsh now kicks in, out of side. It's straight to Chris Stewart though, and he takes an easy, uncontested mark. He's got Burns short, ignores that, goes in the Wong direction. He got flies, got hands, so couldn't take the mark. In there's Amarantidis laying some pressure though, and he comes in, lays a good tackle, but the Woodsman through Wilson got a handball to Paddock, and a clearing defensive kick is good to Nastasi. He's got a runner coming off from halfback, and the Woodsman go forward.
Open 50.
Yeah, kicks it up into space. Callard's got to beat a couple. Jake McKenzie's tracking it to the line. The ball beat him there, so they gained plenty of distance there, the Woodsman. The kick was to no one's real advantage. It'll be thrown in 55 out, trailing by 12 points at the 23-minute mark of this opening quarter on 88.9 Win FM. Boundary throw in. Boyd front spot. Kelm again reaches over the top, wins it down straight to Nastasi though, kicks inside the 50. Callard's leading quick to the football, goes to ground. Great follow-up work there. Comes to Coper, dribbles towards goal, and Britton allows it to go through. It went through for a boundary throw-in in the end, so it missed the post. It's very confusing down that end.
They got me last week too, that netting down there.
Yeah, there's a couple of extra padded posts down there. It looks like there's 6 goal posts.
Great roving there by Harvey, who really swooped in late in the pocket.
From the throw-in, Barling tries to barge his way through. Loose hand pass, opens away from Nastasi, and his head taken off. He wins a free.
May have been a little bit of mayonnaise put on that by Nastasi, but it was there, and this is a good opportunity for Spotswood. Nastasi will be pretty much directly in front, and they need a goal just to keep themselves in touch here. Deer Park have taken control in the last 5 or so minutes, and again, the problem for Spotswood, like a couple of weeks ago, they just seem to lack those big targets in the forward line. But if they draw free kicks, I suppose that doesn't matter. Nastasi's got to finish off.
40 metres out, Charlie Nastasi wobbles. It's through. It means a lot to him. Back within a goal late in the opener. 3-1-19 Deer Park, Spotswood 2-1-13. Nastasi, with a bit of fortune, gets his first.
Yeah, good finish, good confident finish, really kicked through the ball, and that's an important goal close to quarter time, just to keep them in touch. They just seem to lack a bit of system going forward, though. They need to get more value for their efforts. They've got it up there plenty of times this term, Spotswood, but yeah, they seem to run out of ideas when they do get up there.
Just another injury update for Spotswood, boys. Grant Williams back out on the ground after that ankle complaint early.
25 now played, opening quarter. Umpire throws it back up. Kelm against Boyd. Kelm won that one. Still inside the centre circles. Well, argy-bargy going on there. The ball's not going to come out. And eventually the umpire's going to have to ball it up, and he does. So 6-point lead there to Deer Park, 3-1-19 to 2-1-13. As we approach quarter time here in the preliminary final of Division 1. Kelm goes up, does his own roving. He's dispossessed in the tackle. And we'll do it all again. Whistle, blood rule.
Yeah, I think we
Bryden Hodgson's going to come off for the Woodsman.
And looking at that square out there, we're going to see a few of these bloody knees and elbows. That square is as hard as a rock.
Jordan Boyd comes on for Bryden Hodgson. Kelm off. Amarantidis on for the Lions. Chris Stewart to go in the ruck against Murray Boyd. Murray Boyd wins that one down. Got it to O'Brien. He was tackled immediately. But O'Brien goes in again, and like a rugby maul, he gained about 10 yards for his side, and we'll get another ball up though. Yeah, 26 now ticked over first quarter.
I think both teams just locking things down before quarter time. Neither want to concede another one here.
Stewart jumped early. This way the umpire going, he's going to pay it against Boyd. It's a free kick to Chris Stewart. Murray Boyd inside the centre circle. So Chris Stewart kicks a high ball out in the red path direction. Gave him a chance to run and jump, well defended there by Walsh. Got the fist away. Burns, though, did really well. Can he get around his opponent? He can't. He's slung with a big 360 tackle, and he's going to earn the free kick, I think, for the dangerous tackle. So Burns has got it at left half forward.
Probably just ragdolled him a bit too much there, the Spotswood opponent.
Yeah, definitely did, Kate. So the kick goes inside 50, fly at the back. Was the mark paid in front of James? No. Umpire says play on. Williams is there for the Woodsman laying the tackle, and we got a ball up.
Gee, Hines got the sit there. It was a big fly. He went for the mark. It probably would have been better to go just for the spoil and put it out of play.
Not long left in the opening term. Ball up inside the Lions 50. Boyd wins it down. Shoveled out by Harvey, gets onto it. Spills it out to Baxter Norton. Hooks a kick down the wing. Well set there, is quick. Couple of juggles and he takes the mark on centre wing. Wanted to kick long to centre half forward, thought better of it. Just dinks a kick short into the middle for Greenhoff. Again, they're not... Is quarter time from Avalon Airport Oval in the Division 1 preliminary final. The Lions with a 6-point lead at the first change, 3-1-19 to 2-1-13.
Play tighter one-on-one with Redpath because he's got his kicking boots on today, and he could really damage them like Perkins did 2 weeks ago.
Murray Boyd tried to win the clearance himself. He spills it out. Hand-pass comes out though from Williams. Now Harrison, back edge of the centre square, kicks up to half forward. Good lead from Burns. He takes the mark. Out in front of Marks. He can put the Lions inside 50. Got to move it quickly to utilise the space. Kicks inside. Wong just read the flight beautifully against
good at
Lynch. He had front spot, Wong. Knew it was going over his head, just shimmied his way around. Lynch took the mark.
Yeah, good use of the body, good reading of the kick, and a good kick too by Shannon Burns, who when he turned around, he had an open forward 50 to look at, and he had a number of options. There was Wong, there was also Redpath, he had smaller options. That's the difference between Deer Park and Spotty at the moment. Spotty's forward line is often congested, and there's not as many big targets to go to.
45 metres out, James Wong. Normally a beautiful kick of the football. That drop punt has hit the woodwork. 3-2-20 the Lions. Spotswood 2-1-13. 1 minute into this second quarter. Walsh moves it on quickly out of defence. Barling leapt over the top of Brandon Walsh. knocked it out of play.
He was really good in that first term as well. One of the problems that Spotswood had going forward was that he was down there and he was mopping up a lot of the opportunities, and he's also a real enforcer out there. He's got a big, strong body, likes to really crash in. He's a really important player today, bailing for Deer Park.
Greenoff wins the hit out. Boyd tried to sock it off the ground, ends up with McCarthy, kicks a high ball, he's going to land on the 50. Stewart came out, couldn't take the mark. Burns went the handball, somehow bounced back to him. Hurried clearing kick by Marks. He's going to go straight towards the boundary line, and it bounces once and over into the grandstand. Just below us here at Avalon Airport Oval. We're going to throw in just left half forward for the Lions. They kick into the town centre end here in the second quarter. They lead by 7 points, 3-2-20 to 2-1-13. Boyd wins it down. Copa overran it. Boyd, Greenoff whacks it forward again, got it to James, who had Bruin running past, sweeps it out wider to Harrison. He's forced to go backwards, and he kicked it straight into Matson Lynch, who got a little handball away to Lynch, but there's a whistle for holding, and it's going to come all the way back to Lynch.
Should almost have been downfield, but anyway, they've got the free kick, Spotswood, and even though Mark Bullen mentioned it at quarter time, they've given away another free kick.
You probably wouldn't mind these free kicks.
Yeah, probably
right half back, and it's given plenty of time for the Lions to really flood forward. So it's Matson Lynch with it, looking to square it up. Eventually has to do a little pokey one. Barling comes in.
Yeah.
He was taking the mark. Handballs forward to McCarr. Galea runs past through to centre square. Now the kick goes out in the Wong direction. Bounces in front of him. He got the shocking bounce there, though. Harley Welsh gathered. Just tackled beautifully by Shannon Burns. Umpire said play on. Was probably lucky there, Walsh, not to be pinged for holding the ball. And eventually a pack falls 40 out and we'll get a ball up.
That kick from Matson Lynch was to a 3-on-1.
Yep.
Just
go long
just
down
bizarre.
the line. It's just a pokey one, wasn't it?
They've got no one to kick to. The main problem for them remains they're lacking targets around the ground. They're lacking that hit-up target. It's eerily similar to 2 weeks ago.
Lynch wins. Anyway, the kick goes inside 50, ends up with Paddock. Gets a clearing kick out the side. No one can take the mark. Ball still stays in. Handball goes back to Jordan. Boyd dispossessed in the tackle. McCarr got it. He got a quick kick to Copa, who stole it. Now he kicks a long ball, but Jake McKenzie takes the easy mark.
And he hand passes it off to Testa, running off half-back, shares it with Bruin, back edge of the square, confronted by Brandon Walsh, loops a kick out towards the boundary line, standing underneath it for a long time there. Was quick, he takes the mark, lays it off to Jake McKenzie. The ball movement's pretty good here. That's a tidy kick out wide for Stewart, who didn't take it, socketed it off the ground, wanted to put it into the path of Wong. Lynch got the football and was happy to stroll out of play. Boundary throw in 20 metres out from goal to the town centre end here at Churnside Park. Looking dangerous here, Deer Park. They've really dominated the opening stages of this second term. If they kick a couple of goals here, it could be alarm bell time for Spotswood. It does seem a crucial moment in the game. Wom was stripped of the football, spills out to Britton, slung in a tackle, got the hand pass away. Lynch underneath, brought to ground by Stewart. Ball up 40 metres out from the Lions' goal. Yeah, they're just flooding the ball into the forward 50, and on the occasion Spotswood have got it out. They've got no one up there. There's not a Spotswood player past halfway. Stewart went on the hit out, but straight to Jordan Boyd on his left side, hard up against the boundary line, clears the defensive 50. Greenoff became defender, fisted away, but only as far as O'Brien, who's back inside defensive 50. He tries to go the switch. It's a dangerous kick, went in the Norton direction. Harrison did really well, but Matson Lynch found some space, runs forward to centre, handball back inboards a shocker. Missed his teammate there, coming up from half back there was Knight, got a hand back to Jake McKenzie inside defensive 50 for the Lions, and he kicks a good short ball, and that was at 50. No, it was more played for there by Testa. He swings it out even wider, and he's got Tim Quick at right half back out of side. So Quick wants to effect a switch again. He goes with a long ball back towards left half back for Jake McKenzie, and now to Harrison, who's worked hard down the line, takes the mark at left half back. He dinks the kick over the top to Knight, who can work it on quickly towards Bruin, confronted by Nastasi, just swivels the hips, gets around Nastasi again. It was good by Bruin. He kicks to James in space, normally good hand, spills it this time. Williams wrapped up by Burns, and the ball spills out of play. So this is just a really crucial moment in the game already, just 6 minutes into the second quarter. Spotswood cannot let the Lions get away. Boyd wins it down. Greenhoff to the roving, hand pass blindly up the line. It was taken by Wilson, knocked over in a tackle. Kratharis gets the footy, slung to ground. Patak goes to ground as well. Then Greenhoff trips over him. It's a messy period in the game. It'll be balled up just inside the boundary, 55 metres out from Deer Park's goal.
Yeah, they're under the pump here, Spotswood, but they have up their tackle pressure. That's probably their best way back into the game. Just chase some tail, crunch some bodies, apply tackles and try and get turnovers.
Murray Boyd won the hit out, got it to McCarg, then the Bruin. The kick goes inside 50. No one can take the mark. The Woodsmen just try and force it through. Britton lays the tackle right on the edge of the centre square. That's true centre half forward for the Lions, and we'll get a ball up.
Really good by Kieran Lynch there to spoil it away from Wong, who's normally pretty good overhead.
Yeah, he's got great hands, James Wong. Proved that it was last year's grand final, wasn't it? It was a terrific performance by him. The umpire throws it back up. Greenhoff wins it. Kratharis gets the quick clearance. Wong's at the back, flies, jumped early. 1-2, couldn't take the mark. Wilson went through there for the Woodsman. Couldn't gain possession, but they linked by hand now. Running out of defences. Marks, he had a bounce, and didn't bounce straight back to him. Now his handball was under pressure, almost missed his teammate in Copa, who ended up gathering it, but his kick's a shocker. And he kicked it straight to Tester right on centre wing.
Again, they're falling down on centre wing, either poor kicking or just a Deer Park player taking the mark. But Mark's great passage of play there by him turning defence into attack. 3 or 4 efforts, really good stuff by Marks for Spotswood.
Tester short to Williams. Takes a long time to get rid of it. Kicks up towards half forward. James at the front couldn't take the mark. Stewart climbed from the back. Burns had a go. Spills out to Kratharis. Blind kick inside 50. Boyd's going to try to smother the bounce. It didn't favour him. It comes out to Williams. Now Amarantidis. He overruns it. It spills out to McCarg on his opposite left foot. Wobbles a kick to Burns, who's just standing in the hole. Right place, right time for Shannon Burns. And he, from 30 out, straight in front. You wouldn't back against him from here.
Gee, that was clever from Kwame McCarg. We don't often comment about how smart a player he is because he's such a great athlete and so spectacular to watch. We sometimes forget that he's a smart footballer. That was a great kick out in front of Shannon Burns.
Burns shouldn't miss from here, does not miss from here. It's his second. Sorry, just his first for this afternoon, rather. And they grow a 13-point lead, Deer Park. 4-2-26 to 2-1-13. 9 minutes gone.
Yeah, and they probably should be even further in front, Deer Park, the way they've dominated the opening stages of this second term. They've really just had the ball on a string, and they've barely let Spotswood get out past halfway. They've just really dominated territory, dominated possession, and finally they've got a goal. Now can they string a few together and really put Spotswood under the pump?
13-point lead to the Lions, 6-time defending champions, looking to advance to the grand final. Umpire throws it back up. Greenhoff did really well with the hit out. Copa, though, gained possession, but he's taking highs, wanting the free kick. Hand passes to Marks, running off half-back, runs through the centre, almost stuffed the bounce up again. This time he kicks inside 50, looking for Mark from Yacarino, but he can't get to the contest. Bruin read it beautifully. Now he goes to switch to the outer side to Burns, who marks on his chest inside defensive 50.
Yacarino's not right. I mean, we knew he wouldn't be 100%, but just then Bruin just burnt him on the lead. Yeah. Yacarino just no spring or sprint.
No acceleration. No.
The kick found Kratharis outside defensive 50, went short again. The mark was taken there by Amarantidis, still at right half back. Blazing sunshine here at Avalon Airport Oval. Beautiful afternoon for football. The kick goes long down the line in the Kelm direction. Had to defend it. Woodsman gained possession. Handball to Paddock, and he kicks to 50. Bounces out of the back. Bounced underneath Yacarino, and the ball ended up with Quick. The handball asked to Barling, and he gets the clearing kick. It might come back though. Nastasi's got it. Little handball back. Ends up now with Jordan Boyd outside 50. Pushed as he kicked, but it's a beautiful kick inside 50. The mark's taken there by Walsh.
Finally, they've got a mark in the forward 50, a long way out still.
Look to offload it.
But there's no tall timber getting back on the goal line. I mean, Murray Boyd's belatedly getting back there now.
Del Grosso, thanks, Pep.
They don't. Murray Boyd's back on the goal line now, but they don't have the amount of options there that Deer Park do. So this is a really difficult shot.
Del Grosso from the boundary line kicks towards goal. Looks like he's kicked it beautifully. What a goal there by Zach Del Grosso. Much needed for the Woodsman. cuts the margin back to 7 points. Deer Park 4-2-26, Spotswood 3-1-19, 11.5 played second quarter.
Well, you don't need big men on the goal line when you can kick them like that. And Zach Del Grosso is a big lumbering ruckman. You don't normally associate them with goals from out on 50 on the boundary, but that was a great kick and just what Spotswood needed. They've really been under siege at the start of this second term, but that was pretty much their first movement into the forward 50, certainly their first mark in the forward 50, and they get full reward. It's a bit of a role reversal of the first quarter. Deer Park dominating possession, maybe not doing as much with it as they could. Spotswood making the most of their rare opportunity, and they're right back in this.
So just 7 points in it. Both rucks missed it. Copa turns into a tackle. Still inside the centre circles. They'll do it again.
Jordan Boyd's come off again, getting some strapping on his shoulder redone.
There's a few wounded Warriors down there. Boyd wins it down. Galea wins the football. Shrugs the tackle, gives it to Kelm, standing still. Boyd got him, slung him to ground. It spills out to Copa, who's dropped the shoulder, then dropped the footy. Umpire didn't blow the whistle. Kelm's in a little bit of strife on the ground. I think he's getting up okay now.
That was WWE stuff by Murray Boyd, and Troy Kelm was very slow to get up.
Looks all right, though.
They need a bit of that Spotswood. Boyd is their biggest body to really throw his weight around a bit.
No ruck had a meaningful tap underneath Daly. He's wrapped up too.
Yeah, Kelm still looks a bit ginger. Deer Park, we've often seen them bully teams physically in these finals. Murray Boyd's someone who can certainly give it back. He needs to do a bit more of that, within the rules, of course. Boyd
won the hit out, but straight to Mills. He gets the clearance, kicks a high ball inside 50. Redpath may have given away a free kick. The umpire said no. Ends up with James for the Lions. He has a quick snap on goal, and he's got it. Margin back again to 13 points in favour of Deer Park. They are 5-2-32. Spotswood 3-1-19, 13 played second quarter.
Well, they got it in there quick, Deer Park, and in over the back. Spots would have been getting back in numbers this quarter, but a quick delivery in there, and they got in over the back, and a great movement there by James, who's been a very handy player. We haven't seen a whole lot of him in recent times. I think he's from Keilor originally, but yeah, he's a nice size. He's pretty versatile, and as he showed there, he's got an eye for goal. So Deer Park skip away again.
5-2 to 3-1. Halfway through the second term. Back in the middle, Cal wins it down. Mills, they've combined a lot over the years. They win the clearance, the Lions up to half forward. Galea, they're doing a lot right. Deer Park so far. Kick inside the 50. Stewart takes a couple of juggles. Well done. Daly followed up, spilled it out, got caught high. Umpire pays the advantage to Boyd. He kicks up towards the wing, searching for O'Brien. He spills it. At least it wasn't out of bounds on the full this time. A throw in under the scoreboard.
Really should be taking those. That was right in the breadbasket, and he dropped it and went out of bounds. Had he taken the mark and moved it on, they were away, Spotswood.
Throw in on centre wing out of side under the scoreboard. Boyd and Kelm to do the ruck work. Boyd might have won that. Krathara belted it forward. It's gained about 25 metres for the Lions, but it might come back. Copa gained possession, got a handball away. Now the kick goes to half forward. Coming up to Del Grosso, run under it, so did Barling. Ball's on the deck. Good opportunity here for the Woodsman. A hurry kick goes inside 50. Can they get a mark? Clears the pack there of Callard and Quick, and Callard laid a strong tackle there on Quick. The umpire's going to ball it up 15 metres out from the Woodsman's goal. Good opportunity for them here now to really lock it in and maybe get a scoring opportunity or two, get a goal. They got quick ball into the forward line there. That's a rarity for them so far today, Spotswood. Tossed up, Kelm reaches over, gathers it. Harvey's got it. Can he break a tackle? He can. He does a little dinky kick. It wouldn't have been paid if the mark was taken. Kelm's gathered, socket off the ground. Eventually it's rushed through for a behind there by the Lions. 5-2-32 Deer Park. Spotswood 3-2-20. 15.5 played second quarter. Didn't make the most of it that time, but that's what they've got to do more of. Spotswood just try and lock it in their forward 50 and just, apply pressure, play a bit of chaos footy and try and manufacture scoring opportunities that way.
Tester with the kicking in duty, searching for McCarg. He made a good, meaningful lead out wide. Marks was trailing him all the way. Good hands from McCarg, takes the mark, delivers short to Burns, who has his opposing number 7, Callard, standing the mark. 12 12 points the difference, Lions in front. 16 minutes gone. Greenhoff in front. Too good. Strong hands in front of Matson Lynch.
That's just what Spotswood lack, that lead-up marking option.
Up to half forward to Stewart. From one ruckman to another.
Deer Park have
and then he kicks a good kick ball inside 50. Clicks is good in these situations. Finds himself in a bit of space and then delivers to Redpath.
Well, the big boys.
Well, that's just perfectly demonstrated the difference between these two sides. Deer Park have got those tall targets around the ground. They've got those get-out options on the wing, up forward. Greenhoff, Stewart, now Redpath. Three big, strong marking targets. Spotswood don't really have anyone, probably with the exception of Murray Boyd, like that.
12 points the difference. Jack Redpath has shown his elite finishing already today. He's got 3 goals. This from about the hardest spot on the ground. No worries. He's kicking them pure today, Jack Redpath. That's 4. And they skip away, Deer Park. 6-2-38, Spotswood 3-2-20, 17 gone of the second.
You've been doing some work with Jack Redpath during the week, Willow. He's got his kicking boots on. And good luck to him too, because he's a player who has copped a lot of flack this season. You know, he came across from straight from the AFL, from the Bulldogs, on pretty big money. Because of injury, you know, his knee is suspect. He hasn't probably played as well as people would expect, but in Jace Perkins' absence, he's really stood up today, and he's proving the difference at the moment.
So free kick for infringement. Goes the way of the Woodsman. They get the clearance. The kick is good. Out to Sam Harvey, was collected there by Barling. Around the grounds, it's Glen Auden 26, leading Auburn Vale 7 in the Division 3 Grand Final. The Woodsman go inside 50, and Cooney takes the mark. But it's going to be a tough kick for about 50, hard up against the boundary in the left forward pocket.
Been pretty quiet so far, Cooney. He hasn't really been able to get into the game, but this is the sort of thing we know he can do. He's going to go back and have a shot. He will certainly make the distance, and the angle probably won't worry him either. And they really need this to lift them, Spotswood.
It's a game high 18-point lead to the Lions at the moment. Just to cut it back to 12. It's with Adam Cooney. That's why they get him to the club for these big moments. So Cooney comes in just from inside 50, kicks a high ball. It's going to go across the face, it is. And goes through for 1 behind. So Spotswood 3-3-20 trail Deer Park by 17 points, 6-2-38. We've played almost 19 minutes now of the second quarter.
James Wong coming off below us. Looks like he's going up to the rooms. So that's not a good sign for Deer Park, someone who hasn't played a lot of football because of injury.
It doesn't look good at all, boys. We'll have to keep you updated on that one.
Knight out of defence, gets plenty on the kick, searching for Kelm. Boyd was there as well. It ends up with Kelm. Hand passes over the top to Bruin, now to Galea. It just didn't quite sit for him. He goes to ground, claimed in the tackle. Lions still with numbers. Bruin in the end was wrapped up by Matson Lynch. A bit of fortune there for Spotswood because the Lions were away. 6-2-3-3, close to time on in this second quarter. 188.9 Win FM, a spot in the grand final against Altona up for grabs. Ball up on the outer side. Kelm wins it down. Walsh gets the clearance. Intercepted by Barling. Kicks to half forward. Little fingertip there from Boyd. Kept it away from Greenhoff. Laid it back to Lynch, who dinks a kick towards the wing. McCarg's going to get there first. He beat 2 Woodsman opponents. He has to get it into space on the instep. Beautiful kick to Clicks, who won't back himself from that distance. Was searching for Greenhoff, who slipped over at the crucial moment. And Hodgson just glides in and intercepts.
Behind play, Kwame McCarg just slaps his hands together in disappointment. His good work came to nothing. It was a beautiful bit of play, though, by him.
So the Woodsmen go wide. And the clearing kick outside defensive 50 bounces in front of Murray Boyd. He's with a one-on-one with Kelm. He got his handball away. O'Brien there. Couldn't win the football. Bruin did, though. Handball back to Harris, and kick goes inside 50. Bit too hot there for Redpath, but running onto it is Galea. Dribbles it towards goal and misses near side. 1 behind to the Lions. Lead back to that 3-goal margin of 18.63, playing 3-3. 20 and a half gone second quarter.
Yeah, Clicks in the goal square as well.
Walsh short to Wilson, and again to Harvey. They zigzag their way out of defence. Harvey at defensive 50. Krathara stands the mark. Goes short to Boyd.
Deer Park set up well behind the ball here, preventing Spotswood from moving it quickly. Now they've gone to switch.
Yeah, that's the aggressive ball. They need to really open it up. They spread it wide to Patak, now towards Cooney, gathers on the bounce. Corralled by Barling, lowers the eyes, good kick in the Walsh direction, taps it back in the O'Brien direction. It didn't favour him, and it bounced the way of Mills, sweeps a long hand pass through the middle for Greenhoff, sold the dummy around Daly, kicks to Burns at half forward. He can draw the man if he wants, he doesn't. He holds things up and goes short to Clicks. It wasn't his best kick. Clicks gathers inside the field of play, hand pass towards Amarantidis, gets caught by a defender. In the end, it goes out of bounds. It is a quick game, though, at the moment. It has really opened up. You feel, if it is the way the game goes on, it might favour Spotswood in the long run, but they're 3 goals down at the moment. Boundary throw-in to the town centre end.
Deer Park just look dangerous when they get it in the forward 50, much more so than Spotswood.
From the throw-in, Boyd's wrapped up immediately by Greenhoff, and the umpire's paid holding the ball.
And this is well within scoring range, and this will hurt too. We're getting up towards, well, we're into time on. Goal here will make it, 4-goal lead at half time. Hard to see Deer Park losing from that sort of spot.
Blood rule. Looks like O'Brien's coming off with the right knee scraped.
Hasn't had a great day, O'Brien.
Nah, Trent Williams doing the job on him this afternoon. He's done a fantastic job, the standing skipper for the Lions.
And it's going to be Greenhoff with the shot on goal.
Yeah, he's got a 45-degree angle. He's going to kick it from 50. It's an 18-point lead. This will be a 4-goal margin just as we approach half-time. A very handy lead if he can score this. Let's kick the last 2, the Lions. 3-1 in this quarter for that 18-point lead. So Greenhoff now, after winning the free kick in the ruck contest against Murray Boyd, comes in, runs through the 50, gets about 48, kicks on its way. It's a high ball, looks pretty good. He's got it, Scott Greenhoff. His first of the afternoon, 24-point lead to Deer Park. Danger times now as we approach half-time for Spotswood in this preliminary final of Division 1.
Yeah, that hurts. They've just made the most of their opportunities in this term, Deer Park. They've missed a few as well, but the important ones they have kicked, and their set shot kicking has been really good. Redpath and now Greenhoff nailing the opportunities they have. And it's a long way back now for the Woodsmen. They've only kicked 3 goals all day, and they're 4 goals behind. And even though there's plenty of time left, Deer Park don't often lose games from this sort of situation. Spotswood are really going to have to take the game on here, take a few risks.
Back in the middle, even 4 goals the margin. Lions in front. Stewart, his first stint in the ruck, wins it down. Patak for the Woodsman, gets the clearance. High up and under inside the 50. Britton in a good spot. It's roved by Cooney. Hooks it back to a dangerous position. How will it bounce? It goes through for a behind. 3-4-22. 7-3-45. 23 points the difference at Whitten Oval. Glen Orden lead Auburn-Vale by 15 points. 5-4-34 to 3-1. 19. And Tim Knight again with the kicking in duties for Deer Park. Sends it out in the James direction. He's got Hines to beat. Hines got front spot, knocked it out of play, throw in.
Well done by Hines. He's been pretty good today. Good body position there. Now they've got to set up Spotswood and try and lock this ball in the forward 50. They need a goal here before half time. That's a non-negotiable.
Almost 25 minutes played now. Second quarter, thrown back in. Del Grosso, but Stewart won the hit out when he's on his knees. There's a whistle. It's a good tackle there by Coper. And we'll get a ball up. Still at right half forward for the Woodsman. 45 plays 22 in favour of the Lions. Del Grosso went really early. It was interesting ruck work. Eventually, Del Grosso got the clearance. Curry kick around the body, almost stolen there by McCarg. Ends up spilling to Britton, who couldn't gain possession. Patak did really well. Put his head over the footy, and a hurried quick kick came off. Very lucky there, landed in the arms of Adam Cooney, and he's going to go back from 45 metres on a 45-degree angle.
Well, that's why Wayne Patak's an important addition to this side. He really put his head over the footy there. That was the definition of a hard ball get, and then swung it across the body to find Cooney. And if this ends up as a goal, I think Coons should probably go give Wayne Patak a bit of a slap on the backside and say thanks. 2
behinds in the afternoon to Adam Cooney. Big kick coming up for him and the Woodsman as half-time approaches. Starts his running, runs just inside 50, kicks on its way. It's starting left, or starting right, and stays right. And goes through for one behinds. The three behinds to Adam Cooney, all in this quarter. Margin 22 points, 45 playing 23.
Shakes the head, shakes the mullet, Adam Cooney. Probably should have done better from there. Wasn't the easiest shot. He was a fair way out on an angle, but yeah, they need to do a bit better than that now. Spotswood. Deer Park have kicked a number of their goals from very difficult set shots. The Woodsmen haven't been able to do the same, with the exception of Del Grosso.
Lions with the numerical advantage at the contest at half-back. A big fist spills into space. Mills gets the football, kicks to a dangerous spot at half-forward. They've got to be good here, the Woodsman. Harley Walsh gets his hands on the football. He was wrapped up straight away by Redpath.
He did well there, Harley Walsh, because he was the last line of defence. If he was beaten in that contest, it was a certain Deer Park goal.
27 minutes gone now in this second quarter. Stewart wins it down. It bounces off the head there of Wilson. An opportunity for Amarantidis. Tried to work it off to Harrison. Had a fumble. Had help from James, and then he was no good on his non-preferred left. Shanks it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Jordan Boyd at half-back for the Woodsman.
So Jordan Boyd's got it, right half-back. I think his only option is going to be going to go inboard. Dangerous kick, but it came off well. Wilson's got it. Now the switch is on. The kick's out to the outer side. Mark taken there by Lynch. Plays on immediately. Short ball to forward. Finds Baxter Norton.
This might be the last roll of the dice for Spotswood. We've got only about half a minute to go before half-time.
A few kicks from go back to Marks. And it looks like they probably won't get that all-important goal before half-time. But Marks kicks a low ball in the O'Brien direction. Offhand, ball rolls inside 50. James gathers for the Lions. Looking for options. Swings a nice handball back to McKenzie. He gets the clearing kick. But it's going to come back. Took the marks, but siren sounds for half-time in the 2019 Division 1 preliminary final. It is a 22-point lead, half-time lead to Deer Park. They are 7-3-45, leading Spotswood 3-5-23.
Boost for them. Either way, they've just got to find a reliable avenue to goal, however that is. Whether it's one of their players stepping up, whether it's a change in method, they've just got to try and hit the scoreboard more regularly.
Spotswood have just got to find a way. Patak soccers it forward to win the clearance up towards half-forward. Bruin gets there first, can't claim the football cleanly. He has to then lay a strong tackle. It spills out to Clicks, who shovels a hand pass out to James. Couldn't win the football. Knocked forward to Boyd, who gathers 45 metres out on the run. He has a ping, Jordan Boyd. And salutes. The perfect start and a bit of class for the Woodsman. Jordan Boyd back in the team. And that is exactly the start they needed. 4-5-25 Spotswood. Deer Park 7-3-45. 40 seconds gone of the second half.
That's about the perfect start to the second half for Spotswood. They couldn't have wished for anything better than that. Lovely running goal there from Jordan Boyd. He's the big difference, of course, between this game and 2 weeks ago. He wasn't there 2 weeks ago. He is today. He's a class player. He can hit the scoreboard like we saw there. He is starting in the forward line, so maybe he's the guy to really spark them up. He's certainly gone a long way towards it there. Great start to the half for the Woodsman.
Umpire throws the ball up to get it played back underway. Greenoff wins it. Ball still inside the centre circles. McCarg's got it. Handballs back to Harrison, who squaring ball in the Galley direction. Might not get there. Mark's got in the way, but he couldn't gain possession. Harrison runs back after it, tried to pick it up. Shoveled out there by the Woodsman. Ends up with Patak. A looping handball to Norton on his left side. Kicks into space to Nastasi. Marks on his chest. He looks to play on immediately. Umpires.
He's got O'Brien.
Got caught on. O'Brien got forward. Now it's Williams on him. Goes inside 15. The Boyd direction. Got hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. And the ball eventually rolls out of bounds. And we're going to throw.
No, it's a free kick.
Yeah, still disciplined there by Keller. Didn't have to do that. Free kick tonight.
Had the opportunity to really lock the ball in the forward 50, maybe get two in a row. Spotswood, they haven't kicked consecutive goals all day. It's really vital they do that here. Clearing
kick goes in the Greenoff direction. Matson Lynch flies. Got a double fister to it. Ends up with Cooney's, wrapped up in the tackle by Barling. Bruin got it to McCarg, looping one, handball to James. Bruin's come off the back of the pack and he runs through the centre square.
Kicks up in the Burns direction. It wasn't perfect, but Burns protected the drop zone, runs onto the football at half forward, gets away from Williams, tests out the ankle. 55 metres out, hooks a kick back, just a little wide of Redpath. Harley Walsh, well set, takes the mark. And it's just those things like that free kick against Callard can really set the Lions away. And I'm not sure what's happened here. Walsh is going to have to come. No, it's a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, guys, Jack Redpath's just behind the ball there. They weren't happy. The Spotswood players weren't happy with his tackle of Harley Walsh over the line, and he just whacked Jason Marks there behind the play.
So Marks took the football and then played on quickly. Kicks up towards half forward. Nastasi had it spoiled away from him. He has to follow up and lay the tackle on Harrison, but he got it away to Tester in the nick of time. Kicks to Stewart, who had a huge height advantage on Hines, and kicks inside 50. And the mark has been taken by Galea.
Looks like they're going to get a quick reply again, Deer Park. Just what Spotswood didn't want. And you see the difference there. Kicking into the forward 50, Deer Park were able to go to Chris Stewart. When it was at the other end moments earlier, Spotswood were kicking to Charlie Nastasi. That's the difference. They've just got the aerial advantage.
Well, this is by no means a soda for Mark Galea. He's a long way out, 45 metres out. It's a more acute angle than 45 degrees. It'll take his best. He's only 20 years old, this young man. Can he stem the tide? Not quite. Misses to the right-hand side. Behind. Their lead is 17 points, Deer Park, 7-4-46, Spotswood 4-5-29. Just south of 4 minutes travelled in this third term.
Need to try and get consecutive goals here, Spotswood. So important they don't give up a soft one here.
That's not a great kick, searching for Nastasi again. An unlikely target coming out of defence, and Galea intercepts. He's on a similar angle, but he's far too far out this time. Sets it into the pocket. Stewart's there. Leapt early, couldn't quite bring down the mark. And then the ball careers out of play. It'll be tossed in 15 metres out from Deer Park's goal, kicking to the swimming pool end. This term at Avalon Airport Oval. Around the ground, still half-time in the Division 3 Grand Final, 35-23. Hawks in front.
Toss back in, Stewart and Boyd. Boyd won it down nicely there to Hodgson, but he's got a handball away to Marks. Just whacks a clearing kick, but it's going to come back as Britton took a good mark on his chest. He goes back inboard, and the mark's taken there by Knight, just on the edge of the centre circles. O'Brien manning the mark. They go square it up to Williams. Done a fantastic job on Steve O'Brien this afternoon. And he finds Tester, centre wing, front of the logo.
Just slowing the game down a bit. Taking the sting out of Spotswood a bit, trying to stop them get a run on.
Short and wide, and goes out of bounds on the full of that kick. So free kick will go to Toby Coper, who squares it up immediately. The Woodsmen look to start their forward thrust. Amarantidis on the defensive 50. Little short ball goes to Baxter Norton.
They're set up well behind the ball here, Deer Park. They're trying to suffocate Spotswood. They don't have much to go to here, the Woodsmen.
So Norton's going to be forced to go down the line. Hodgson wasn't really aware if the ball was going to come his way. Tester closed late, but Hodgson took the mark. Defensive side of the wing. He's probably going to be forced to kick long down the line in the Murray-Boyd direction. Britton, courageous, back with the flight. Knocked it away from Boyd, and it was tapped into the path of Cooney by Patak. Cooney got it, gives it off to Nastasi, lost it to Callard. Too hot for Patak. Patak goes in again. Bruin applies the pressure, and then a good tackle by Mills.
Good pressure there by Deer Park. They are set up very well behind the ball, but Spotswood did threaten to get out there, and their big names, the big men, got back in time to apply pressure and force a ball up.
Greenhoff knocks it into space. Galea shoved out of it. Marks gets there, knocks it out of Amarantidis' grasp. Tratharis gets onto it, sweeps a hand pass inboard. Just slightly misread by McCargy. Got the hand pass away, searching for Galea. Caught in... It comes the way of Boyd, though. He was caught in the tackle by Galea, and a turnover comes the Lions' way. Kick up towards half forward. James has a couple to beat. Gets the footy, then drops it cold. Marks gets onto it, draws the man, hands it off again to Lynch. To a stationary Jordan Boyd at half forward. He had it spoiled away. Bruin feigned the hand pass and then ran through the space and delivers out wide, searching for Galea again. He gathered on the half volley, gave it back to Bruin, lowered the eyes for Burns. It was clever by the Lions. He's got it 70 metres out.
Burns goes inside 50, goes in the clicks, Amarantidis direction, couldn't take the mark. Stewart came out, got a handball, back to Amarantidis. Can he strike the tackle? He can. Runs to 35, bends one around the body. How will the bounce? It's a goal. Terrific play there by Spiro Amarantidis. Gets his first of the afternoon, 26 on the year, and takes the lead to 23 points, 8-4-52. Deer Park over Spotswood, 4-5-29, 7.5 played third quarter.
And a lot of credit for that goal should go to Max Bruin. He's been really good today off half-back, and he does give Deer Park a slightly different option. He's more of an outside player. He uses the ball well, and he's also pretty hard at the contest. So he's been very handy for them today, and really cut a swathe through Spotswood down the outer side of the ground there, the scoreboard side, and really set up that goal. And that's an important one for Deer Park, just to answer that early one from Spotswood.
23 points the difference. Lions holding sway. Greenhoff wins it down. Harvey overruns it. Kratharis gets the footy, puts them deep inside 50. Redpath from 3 back. Takes a really strong contested mark. And this is where he likes them. A long way out, he can really lay into them.
Well, he's kicked more difficult ones than this today, and that was a great contested mark. And I know we've been harping on it, but it really does highlight the difference in the two sides. Spotswood just don't have anyone who can do that. And he kicks a goal here, and they might be about to blow this game open, Deer Park.
It'll double Spotswood's score if this goes through. He's got 4 already, Jack Redpath. He's looked a little maimed the past 2 weeks. Not today, and that is glorious. He's carried that 60, Jack Redpath. It's looked a little too easy for him. They get 2 in the space of about a minute. Deer Park and stretch the lead to 29 points. 4-5-29 Spotswood. The Lions are 9-4-58. 9 minutes gone of this third quarter. It's ominous.
Well, Jamie Madigan said before the game they need Redpath to step up in Jace Perkins' absence. Well, he's done exactly that. Jace Perkins kicked 5 for them last week, and today Redpath has got 5 himself, I think. So, yes, it's been, he's really stood up, and he's silenced a few doubters this afternoon, and his kicking for goal's been magnificent. That was an absolutely perfect shot.
Lions have taken 8 marks inside 50 for scores. Well, Spotswood just the 4. As it's 29-point margin in favour of the Lions. 9-4, the 4-5, thrown back up. Bit of a nil-all draw between the ruckman. Boyd got the handball, went looking for Boyd, couldn't find him. Mills there at the bottom of the pack, gathers, handballs forward, Burns is out, runs inside the centre circles, kicks a wobbly inside-out torpedo in the Amarantidis direction. Kieran Lynch is there for the Woodsman. He's at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire's going to come in and ball it up.
They're going to go for the jugular here, Deer Park. They've got Spotswood down. They're going to try and really finish them off. It's important that the Woodsmen just hang in there. Don't drop their bundle.
6 goals from those 8 marks inside 50. Shows the difference between the two sides, doesn't it?
Those targets make all the difference. Hodgson gets the football. Kick was partially smothered at left half forward for the Lions. Lynch tries to barge his way through. Lost the football, but it spills in the way of Harvey. He gets tackled. Forward of the play now for Wilson. They combine by hand under the scoreboard, kick in the O'Brien direction up at half forward. Barling just crashes in. It spills forward to Nastasi. Has to make this count. 30 out on the run. Misses. It's just not quite their day, Spotswood. They're 28 down. They're
the sort of goals they need to kick too. Charlie Nastasi hasn't had a great day, but he has had a few opportunities. Kicked 1. Probably should have nailed another one there, though.
9-4-58 Deer Park. Spotswood 4-6-30. 11 gone of the third.
If they could just get a run on Spotswood, get 2 in a row, really get some momentum, there's still an outside chance. They're not miles behind on the scoreboard.
Beautiful kick out of defence into the advantage of Jake McKenzie. Couldn't quite take it with him though. Callard inside the 50. And it was well done there by Quick. He called Bruin out of it. Now he gives it to Bruin. Off a step. Kicks towards the wing, floating back. Oh, great mark by Murray Boyd. That is something special from the big man.
Courageous and skillful.
They've got to be brave here. Spotswood through the middle for Baxter Norton. Wheels onto the left boot. It's a bullet. And O'Brien takes the mark 45 metres out.
Yep, they've got to nail this. That was a fantastic kick, and O'Brien has had a pretty quiet day, but he is a very handy footballer. He can go up forward and provide a target for him. He's got the shot on goal now, pretty much directly in front. Really needs to kick this to give them any sort of hope.
It's at a real tipping point, this preliminary final. They're so hard to win. Spotswood need to make Deer Park really earn it. This would be a good start. Stephen O'Brien has missed.
Yeah.
Just got it working the wrong way.
And they're the sort of chances that Deer Park have taken. Those sort of set shots, ones that were much more difficult than that, they've nailed. So, yeah, they've had a couple of opportunities, Spotswood, Nastasi and now O'Brien. And they just haven't been able to take them.
27-point lead to the Lions. Kicking goes in the Barling and Amarantidis direction, clears them, bounces out of bounds. And a throw in. Left half, right half back for the Lions.
Patak and Aramantidis having a bit of a set to. Fourth umpire's come out to tell him to cut it out.
Toss back in. So I think Doug Grosso might have won that one. Jake McKenzie gathered it, taken high. Free kick against Bryden Hodgson.
Yeah, it's unlucky the player was falling down as Hodgson came in to tackle. It just got him slightly high.
So Mills kicks it to the 50. Oh, good mark by James at the back of the pack. He's 55 from goals, looking for options.
Yeah, it's Stewart in the pocket.
Where's Redpath? He kicks a centering ball, goes into Stewart in a one-on-one. He's got the height, he's got the strength. Almost had the skill, almost brought it in with the one hand. Clearing defensive kick there by the Woodsman. How will it bounce? The bounce is all right so far. Amarantidis running onto it, can't keep it in. Redpath there as well, gives him some help, and they see over the line, and we get a throw in.
And Aramantidis has gone down on his haunches. Him and Patak have been going at it hammer and tongs. The umpire didn't see it though, so there's going to be a throw in.
Yeah, so 55 out from the Lions goal. It's tossed back in. No hit out. Belted forward there by the Woodsman in the Nastasi direction. He's worked out of it. McKenzie came off. He's met solidly by Patak, but McKenzie goes in, lays a strong tackle. Didn't affect him. That bump is good in too.
There's a little bit of niggle developing now.
There's a bit of
Patak looks like he's had some angry juice at half time. He's not going to go down without a fight.
So tossed up now. 60 out from the Lions goal. They'll also want it down, but Kenzie dispossessing the tackle. Patak gains possession, gets a hurried high ball. Greenoff takes an easy mark. He's been clobbered by Jordan Boyd in the process, but it's a good mark.
He's a handy footballer, Greenoff. We always thought of him as this, just big lumbering ruckman, but he's very mobile, and he can play down back, he can play out on a wing even, he can go forward and kick a goal as he's done today. He's a real asset. He
was on Collingwood's VFL list for a while there, Scott Greenhoff, so he can play the game.
Yeah, well, only the best player at Collingwood, Pep.
Britton from centre half back sends it out in the Mills direction, sets himself, couldn't quite take the mark, but he dropped it into space and then gathered it himself anyway. He wheels around about three Woodsman, does them all cold, kicks in the Clicks direction. Good spoil came from the back from Darcy Wilson. Knocks it out of play. Left half forward for Deer Park, who lead by 27 points. 9-4-58 to 4-7-31. As we mentioned, the Woodsmen need to string a couple of goals together. They haven't managed to do that all day.
Toss back in. Clears both ruckman marks, gathers it, got a handball away. They'll look to go forward here, do the Woodsman. The kick goes to centre half forward. It's going to make Murray Boyd work for his out of position. Quick might run onto it, the handle, the bounce, and allowed Boyd back into it. Able to lay some pressure. Callard picks it up, kicks inside 52. O'Brien. And he marks in front of Williams, who's done a terrific job, but a couple of marks inside 50 now for Steve O'Brien. Really needs to kick a goal for the Woodsman. Just one behind from his last shot at goal. Massive kick here for Spotswood.
He had options to go short too, but he said, no, I'm going for it. It's a tougher kick than the one he missed a few moments ago, but he needs to hit the target here.
It's about 10 metres in from the boundary line is O'Brien. Will kick it from 45. In the left forward pocket. To cut it back to 21 points. O'Brien's kick on its way, looks pretty good. Is it gonna, just clip the top of the left goal post. One behind margin, 26 points now in favour of the Lions, 9-4 to 4-8 at the 17-minute mark of the third quarter.
They've had their chances in this term, Spotswood. O'Brien's now missed two. even if he kicked one of those, or got two of them ideally, they'd be still in with a sniff here.
Kick to space, McHarg, probably the only man on the ground who could have got to that. Takes it, wobbles the kick to Bruin, who has been very good today. Provided a lot of dash off half-back for the Lions. Kicks a long ball to Calm from the back, couldn't quite bring down the mark. Clicks at the foot of the pack, gathers the football eventually, gives it off to Harrison, now to Kratharis, little inside-out banana, beautiful for James going back with the flight, hands it off to Galea. He'll take the chance to have a shot, but he won't convert. 9-5, 59 Deer Park to 4-8, 32, so they're trading behinds at the moment. And Galea's got 3 of them.
That would have really stung Spotswood too.
Well, they've moved it on very quickly here out of defence, Spotswood, and perhaps to their detriment. The kick wasn't tidy through the middle. It comes out to McHarg, puts them back inside 50. Redpath again, front and centre. Stewart doing the roving. That's not his job, but kicking goals is in finals for Deer Park. And they might have broken Spotswood's back yet. 10-5, 65 to 4-8, 32. The Woodsmen had their chances at the other end, and the Lions have taken theirs. They're out by 33 points.
Yeah, that hurts. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back, to continue your point, Pep. Spotswood have tried hard this turn. They've had chances. O'Brien misses a couple of shots in a row, and then Deer Park take it up the other end, and Chris Stewart, of all people, does the roving. There's not much he can't do, Chris Stewart. He normally takes big marks and kicks goals, but there he was roving front and centre, bounces it home, and looks like a 7th grand final on the trot for the Lions.
It's a 4 straight behinds for the Woodsmen before that goal to Deer Park, so missed opportunities.
Just kills you.
Yeah, back in the middle. Kelm reaches over the top, wins the hit out. The clearance goes the way of O'Brien. Kicks inside 50. Fisted away there by McKenzie. Greenoff is there. Can he gather it? Paddles it in the McHarg direction. He can't quite gain possession. He's harassed by Harvey. And the Woodsman might get the ball here. Still inside 50. Greenoff there trying to lay a tackle. Williams is there as well. And eventually the umpire is going to ball it up. 45 out from the Woodsman's goal in the right forward pocket.
Important they fight this out though, Spotswood. It's highly unlikely they're going to win it from here, and there's no next week, but really important they just hang in there, don't get blown out, and don't go the knuckle either. Some sides, when their season's over, the frustration comes out, and sometimes they let themselves go a bit. Just need to stay disciplined here, the Woodsmen.
Secondary ball up. Kelm reaches out the top, wins it. Paddock dispossessed, goes throw back in there. Still a loose ball, still on the 50. Williams lays a tackle, Nastasi comes in, umpire will come in and ball it up.
Just to make matters worse for Spotswood guys, Adam Cooney's looking like his right hamstring is giving him a little bit of issues, so if they needed him to come back on and make an impact, it might be limited.
Thrown up, nil draw with the ruck. Bruin been brilliant this afternoon, gains possession, but he's seen out of bounds, and now we'll get a throw in.
Cooney's impact when he has been on the field has been a bit limited today. He has missed a couple of shots, and Deer Park have manned him up pretty well too. But for a player who does rely on his spring and his explosiveness, having a dodgy hamstring's not good.
The Lions get the clearance. It ends up with Bruin, runs and kicks inside the centre square, but it's chopped off there by Walsh, who marks. Run the cricket pitch there, plays on immediately. Kicks in the Boyd direction. He was pushed under. There was Britton. Could have almost been a free kick. Tester's got it. Can he get around Callard? He looks for help. Handballs over the top to Knight. Handballs inboard to McHarg. Back to Knight. And then to Kratharis, who sweeps a handball out to Harrison, who can't keep it in. Then the ball goes out of bounds.
Yacarino coming off below us as well. Fully support the decision to play him. He had to play, but he's had very little impact. If it was a home and away game, there's no way he'd play.
From the boundary throw-in, excuse me, Harvey shovels it out to O'Brien. Kratharis got him straight away. Ball up. Just forward of the wing. The end spots are attacking. Oh, Calm down to Mills, who's just come off the bench. They're symbiotic, those two. Up towards half forward. Here's Shannon Burns. Did well to keep it in front. Gives it over towards James. Umpire said it stayed in. His kick was straight to Lynch. That's Kieran He goes the switch. Now to Daly, who backs his pace against Stewart. Kicks out wide. Is that south of the line again? No, not quite. It bounced inside. Boundary throw in underneath the scoreboard. 22 minutes gone of this third quarter. This premiership quarter, which Deer Park has owned over the years, and today as well. 3-1 this quarter. And they look like they're on their way to a 7th straight grand final. Del Grosso reaches over the top. Hand pass comes from Mills back to Greenhoff inside the 50. Bounce was trapped by Clicks. Couldn't quite gather it properly though. Had to become tackler. Ball up inside 50 for the Lions. They're 33 points ahead.
Also an important, last quarter a bit for the Lions. There's guys playing for grand final spots. They've still got guys who are outside the team who may come in. Guys like Kevin Clicks could be at risk.
Oh, Amarantidis got through the space. There was no space. And he kicks the goal. 39 points to the good of the Woodsman now. And you'd think that's just about it. 11-5-71 to 4-8-32. He finds a way to annoy the hell out of the opposition, Spiros Amarantidis. And then he finds a way through to kick a goal.
I don't think his spot in the side was ever in doubt for next week, but he's just proven his worth there. He is a bit of a pest off the ball, but he's got some class and skill too. He's one of their best, if not their best, crummer, and he just burst through the pack there, ran into an open goal, and there's an opportunity for them to really blow this one out, Deer Park.
Around the grounds, Auburn Vale have kicked a goal in the third quarter. They're down by 10 points. Glenorden 6-5-41. The Cobras are 4-7-31.
39-point lead to Deer Park as we approach the 24-minute mark of this third quarter. They've managed to kick the last 4 goals of the game, and they look like they're going to play in their 7th straight grand final. And there's a whistle. Free kick's going to go the way of the Woodsman. I think Patak's going to take it.
Jack Redpath's off, and he's getting his knee looked at on the Deer Park bench.
Patak is looking for Nastasi. Marks inside the centre square. He wants to move it quickly. Goes on his left boot inside into the Cooney direction. He looks really like he's struggling.
Yeah.
Cooney could not stretch out at all then, so yes, why would you risk him? I know there's no tomorrow, but
I reckon he'll be coming off.
He'll be coming off very short.
We might be seeing the very last moments of his football career. I mean, if his body keeps letting him down, and his media commitments increase, he mightn't even play next year. So
from the throw in,
looks proppy, doesn't he?
Yeah, stretching out that calf, I think.
Could be the end of what's been a fantastic career. We certainly hope he goes on next year. It's a great asset to the WRFL to have someone of his ilk playing in it.
So Liz Kelm wins the hit out, got it down the Burns. It's a hurried high kick, and Morantidi stands under it. Galea it was. Couldn't take the mark. Del Grosso came in to spoil. So a throw in just underneath the broadcasting position here at Avalon Airport Oval. 25 gone. Third quarter, 39-point lead to Deer Park, looking to advance to their 7th straight grand final. Thrown in, Kelm reaches over the top. Burns couldn't gain possession. Kelm eventually did handball a loopy one to Mills on his right boot, goes very short, and Stewart comes up from full forward, takes the mark. Now he kicks in the Clicks direction, comes out, takes the mark. He's too far out from goal. He's at 60, so he moves it quick, kicks it, got a man on in the goal square. Gets there to Burns, couldn't take the mark. It's eventually paddled through for a rush behind by Jason Marks.
Yeah, guys, Adam Coody's just come off now. He looks done for the day, really struggling coming off the ground.
They move it on quickly, the Woodsman. But to no avail. Jordan Boyd couldn't get there. The hand pass was wide of him. Boundary throw in again. It's always the way on that outer side here at Avalon Airport Oval. $70 metres out from the Lions' goal. They're up by 40 points. Kelm reaches up over the top. Patak overruns it. Callard gets onto it. Shovels a hand pass out to Patak, up to half forward. Knight. Courageous mark. McCart goes back to help out. Gets the football. Back to Williams. Now to Quick at right half back. Harvey's in a bit of trouble over on the other side rather than Nastasi, still hurting. Testa, meanwhile, gets wrapped up on the wing by Baxter Norton. And now to Greenhoff. who does pretty well but kicks to a contest where the Woodsman had the numbers. Marks works the 1-2 with Del Grosso. It was too hot to go back to Marks. He has to go back and pick it up himself, Jason Marks. He does really well. Now to Patak. Just throws it blindly on the boot. Kicks to a 2-on-1. And a good mark is taken there by Tim Knight. Goes across the ground to Bruin. As Yacarino and Barling have a bit of a hoopla inside 50. Ball hasn't been in there for a while. Bruin into the bullseye for Jackson, for Jake McKenzie rather, but he spilt it, and then a kick inside 50 for Barling, who's... Yeah, they look very wounded, the Woodsman.
He's just patrolled things down there, Barling, and the kicking inside the 50 has left a fair bit to be desired for Spotswood all day.
Well, Yacarino isn't moving at 100%. There's a lot of players like it.
Neither's Jordan Boyd. They're the walking wounded out there at the moment, Spotswood.
Katharis finds Mills at right half back. Deep in the time on now, almost 28 minutes played. It's a good kick in the Galilea direction. Couldn't take the mark. Marks is there, paddles it to himself. Burns is there to delay the pressure. Bruin has been brilliant this afternoon. Three-quarter time in the 2019 WRFL Division 1 preliminary final. Things get a little bit testy after the siren's gone. A little bit of a push and shove.
Always the risk of this happening. The game is pretty much gone. Spotswood don't have much to play for next week, and when that happens, tempers can fray and frustrations can come out. So hopefully the umpires will break this up. Looks like they are, but yeah, the air really went out of that contest in the last 10 minutes of that third term. If you could probably apply the mercy rule, you probably would have. It's a bit disappointing because preliminary finals are often great affairs, but this one, even though there's still a quarter to go, it does look like it's pretty much done and dusted, and it's going to be the Parkers taking on the Vikings next week.
Around
to go into the pre-season with.
Final term to get underway in this preliminary final. Deer Park 40 points ahead. Surely can't lose from here. Let's see what happens. 30 minutes to find out who faces Altona next week. The Woodsmen win the clearance through Hodgson. Up inside the 50. Boyd had his arm hung onto there by Britton. Umpire holds his whistle. Boyd somehow stands up with the football, gives it to Nastasi. He was claimed immediately in a tackle. And still Britton and Boyd are tangled up. There'll be a ball up.
He's another one who's going to be pretty sore and sorry tomorrow, Jordan Boyd. He's played pretty well today, but he has copped a few knocks.
Matson Lynch with the ruck work there. Won it down with the left hand. And we'll get a holding the ball decision. Don't know which way it's going.
Might be Spotswood's, I think.
And it is.
And looks like it might be... Is it Jordan Boyd?
It is.
He kicked a very early goal in the third term, and he's got an opportunity to kick a very early one in the last term. It didn't do them much good in the third quarter, though, and it's probably not going to affect things much either way here. But again, as I said, it's important they finish off the game hard and at least retain some pride, and this is a good opportunity to go some way towards doing that.
Jordan Boyd from directly in front, kicks from 51 metres, got the distance, but missed to the near side, one behind. 11-6-72, Deer Park leading Spotswood 4-9-33, 39-point lead to the Lions as we played 90 seconds of the final quarter.
Out of defence, Burns makes a meaningful lead out to the broadcast side of the ground at half-back. He takes the mark and delivers to Galea. Strong hands in front of Wilson. And Burns has kept running, and he takes the mark.
It's been solid today, Burns.
Generally know what you're going to get. He's eased his way into it. Wouldn't say he was at his best last week. His first game back for a while, having missed a fair bit with calf injury. Sets it to Stewart. He's got the height advantage. He snatches it away from Lynch's grasp. And Morantidis slips over at the crucial moment. Matson Lynch gets it back. Works it inboard to Hodgson. Kicks a questionable ball across half-back. O'Brien's got to come pick up the pieces. Sells the dummy around Greenhoff. Takes a bounce. Spearing ball to Jordan Boyd up. Crucial little fingertip in there from Knight. It comes out to Britton. Now to Quick at right half back for the Lions. Nothing to go to. Retreats to Britton again. And then goes on the 45 to Burns again, who spilt what he normally would have taken, and then Jordan Boyd from a long way out just hacks it inside the 50. Barling plays goalkeeper, was tackled but got it to Williams. Now to Britton in the right back pocket.
Britton's got it, looking for options, going to go to switch. He's got Tester, he's going to take the mark, look to play on. He held his ground. Clears defensive 50 to Cratharis. Back inboard to McKenzie. Left half back for the Lions.
Anthony Eames said he wants them to test Deer Park. Well, they're not so much at the moment. It's a bit of circle work here. It's just a little bit too easy. We're in the final term of a preliminary final.
Goes back to Britton, who goes up the middle to Stewart. He's got Bruin on a hard lead out wide. Honours that, hits him on the chest. He's got Knight running past, used him by hand. Now goes looking for Redpath, who marks on the edge of the centre square. Still 2 kicks from goal are the Lions.
He's got
patient build-up.
Got McCarg in the pocket. He's got Galea deep.
He goes shorter. McCarg still 65 from goal. McKenzie inboard calling for it, ignores that. Goes into the pocket for Galea in a one-on-one. Too much on the kick. Wilson at the back there with the spoil. Stayed in. Click's got a handball to Galea. Centering ball. How will it bounce? Bounces nicely. Redpath used some strength, but looks like the Woodsmen are going to repel.
So Hines goes short to Marks. Searing inboard pass to Patak. Kicks beautifully to Callard. Strong hands out in front. They got nothing for to the ball, though. They've pushed up the ground.
Yes, well, that's something Anthony Eames talked about at three-quarter time. He didn't want them to do.
So Callard retreats to Marks. Draws the man, gives it to Nastasi. Steps around Greenhoff onto his favoured left boot. Through the middle now. Again. Short pass for Coper, who marks at the paint. At centre half forward. Jeremy Mills mans the mark. Just inside the 50. Coper's going to back himself.
He's going to go for home here. He's directly in front. He was good in the first half, Coper. He's sort of drifted out of the contest a bit like a few of his teammates.
So Coper, he'll kick it from beyond 50. Didn't strike it well. Way out to the left. Out of bounds on the full. Or a mark to Chris Stewart. On the full. Regardless, he delivers it to McCarg in the right back pocket, who's been playing a fairly selfless role in the finals. A lot of work off half back, but just offers so much as a defensive attacking threat as well. They find the sanctuary of the boundary line here, Deer Park, at right half back. 39 points ahead, 11-6-72, Spotswood 4-9-33. 5.5 minutes played of this final term on 88.9 Win FM. Pepe Cavalieri, Andrew Wilson, Cade Lucas, Nick Boylan and Sam Richards with you this afternoon. Patak wins the clearance, high ball to full forward. Nastasi's there. Couldn't quite bring down the mark. It spills out to Britton, who's had a few good moments. Knocked out in the tackle. Tested it quick. Took too long to get rid of it. Surely holding the ball. No. It spills out to McCarg, who does a little tiptoe. Comes out to Knight. Shrugs the Nastasi tackle. Backtracks to Quick again, who was very lucky a moment ago. Kicks in the Burns direction and Stewart. They both shielded their eyes from the sun. Got a little confused, but Burns did good enough to take the mark.
Yeah, Burns goes short. They're at full back now, the Lions. Balls with Williams, back to Burns in the right back pocket. Kicks in the Bruin direction. Got hands to it, couldn't take the mark. Galea roves it. Grubbers a kick forward and goes out of bounds just next to the scoreboard.
It's good tackling pressure there from Spotswood. They just didn't get the just reward with Quick not being paid holding the ball. Maybe he got a hand to the ball that we were too far away to see, but it looked pretty stone cold holding the ball from here.
Stewart in front with 2 hands, wins it down. Paddock stole it though, kicks a high ball inside 50. McCarg's there. He's going to try and corral the ball, but he gets a nice bounce. He didn't have to. Then he runs outside defence 50, has a bounce on his left boot, brings it back nicely to Bruin. How will the ball sit? Sat all right, or was taken high, free kick.
Yeah,
plays
sloppy
on,
free kick
chips
there.
it over the top to Mills, who marks just outside 50. So Harrison in the pocket, unmarked, doesn't see him. Said he wants to use Redpath. Oh no, he doesn't even go that far. Finds Galea.
That was not a good kick by Mills at all, and he had a bit of a grimace afterwards, but it found the target.
He gave the apology to Jack.
Yeah, and Jack Redpath has kept running and he's coming towards the bench.
So Galea goes short. Oh, Burns marks uncontested, runs to 20, kicks another. Very, very poor marking there by Spotswood. It just shows where the game's at the moment.
The owner of a Metricon vehicle with the licence plate XWK272, please remove your car immediately.
You heard the woman. Go move your car.
Willow, is that yours?
No, mate. We're out on the grass.
Maybe they're listening to Win FM. They can go and remove their car after listening to us.
It's like being the MCG, that.
Yeah.
Where's Shebeki?
Yes. But no, back here on the ground. If there was a referee out there, he'd be given the 8 count, I think, to Spotswood. That was a very, very soft goal, that last one.
Copa brushes off Harrison, wins the clearance for Spotswood up towards half forward. Beautiful kick. Mark's taken out there by Harvey. Wheels onto his left foot. Kicks to a dangerous position for O'Brien. It was beautifully executed. Stephen O'Brien, maybe third time lucky. He's kicked a couple of behinds. He's got closer every time.
He's going to have the shot. He's just off centre. They need to get something in this final term, Spotswood. There's, a real look of dejection about them, which is understandable. They'll be disappointed, but they need to fight this one out. And so far in this term, they haven't really. So important they get a goal here.
O'Brien from the step inside the 50. This time he misses to the right-hand side.
He hasn't missed by much, but he's missed. And particularly the early two he missed, they were important misses because they were, had he kicked them, they would have put them right back in the contest. But he missed those shots, and Deer Park went up the other end, kicked goals, and that was the contest.
Beautiful kick out of defence by Knight. It finds Britton on the wing. He can have a couple of bounces. That's 3. Del Grosso closes. Greenoff does the shepherding. He's all the way at half forward now. Britton, he kicks over the head of Stewart, who's going to win a free kick. And a couple of wounded footballers on the deck as well.
Aramantides is down. I think he's going to be okay. He's just a bit sore. No, might be who's the Spotswood player who's on his haunches? I think it might be Grant Williams, who's been in the wars all day.
I think it's Stewart's free kick. Yeah, Amarantides, who is about a metre from the ball and too busy stretching to give it to Stewart. 44 points the difference. Hasn't had the traditional preliminary final feel. Chris Stewart's had a moment or two. This for his second. Deep in the right forward pocket. Hits the post.
No, you're right, Pep. It's been a disappointing day. Nothing against Spotswood, and Deer Park have just come out and done what they wanted to do, but or what they've had to do. But you would have hoped for a better, hotter contest than this. It is a preliminary final, and has the feel of a pre-season game about it at the moment. 23-point
lead to Glen Orden around the grounds in the Division 3 grand final, so they're going to be tough to reel in the last quarter.
The Lions have won a free kick, right half forward to Galea. Gets up a little bit gingerly. He's going to be all right to take the kick.
Altona probably would have been hoping for a hotter contest as well. This has probably been a little bit too easy for Deer Park in this second half.
Kick was a good one by Galea. Found James, who marked on the 50, and he'll go back from pretty much directly in front. 11.5 played now, final quarter. 12-7-79 are the Lions over Spotswood 14-34. The Lions looking to advance to the seventh straight grand final. As James comes in from 52 metres, got right under it. It's going to fall short. Can they get a mark? Stewart flies off hands, bouncing ball towards goal, kept in there by Clicks. The boundary line wins out, and we'll get a throw in 5 metres round from the left behind post. They've got Kwame McCarg and Chris Stewart, the only two Deer Park players playing all 6 so far, so they're looking for 7 each. And
it's a sign of their strength that both of, they've been more role players lately.
So thrown in, Stewart's kick was smothered. But they still maintain possession, do the Lions. Ends up with Mills, hands passes outside defensive 50 to McKenzie. Squaring ball back inside the centre square, finds Tim Quick. Got Burns on the lead, goes in that direction, had to wait for it a little bit, got his hand to it, spoiled it, did his own roving. Handball's back inside the centre square, back to Quick. The bloke who kicked it to him in the first place. He's on all fours. Woodsman coming from everywhere to lay the tackle. And the umpire's going to ball it up just inside the centre square, right half forward for the Lions.
Another close run thing for Tim Quick with holding the ball. He could have been pinged there as well. Yeah, it's a good sign in a way for Deer Park that the likes of Stewart and McCarg have been their absolute superstars in previous grand final teams. They have a lesser role these days. Neither have shot the lights out, but they've very much done their role.
Calm wins it down. Patak coughed it up to McKenzie. Kicks a high ball to the wing. Mills couldn't quite take the mark. Del Grosso gets onto the football at left half back for the Woodsman. Kicks beautifully through the middle for Callard, who's got Tester beaten for pace. Has to backtrack to Boyd, who was stationary. Wasn't the greatest idea. His hand pass for Harvey wasn't outstanding, but Harvey made it work. Oh. He had a fumble in the pocket, though, and at the last moment, the Lions can extricate it. Knight, not much to go to the footy. Backtracks to Williams. Oh, great tackle. That's holding the ball. Still some desperation. And Harvey, desperate to make up for his fumble earlier, wins a free kick at the top of the goal square.
Yeah, that'll please Anthony Eames. That's the sort of stuff he was calling for at three-quarter time. And Harvey, he's worked hard today. He's chased and tackled and given his everything. He has made some mistakes, but he's certainly not Robinson Crusoe there. But a good sign that he at least is fighting this out to the end, and hopefully he can finish off with a goal. Is that Tim Quick back there who's getting some work done? There's a Deer Park player behind play who's
Britton, Kate.
Yeah, Britton actually. Yeah, he's just been pretty good today, but he looks a bit proppy here, mate. Well, Deer Park will be hoping it's just cramp.
Sam Harvey, 11 goals on the season. Has only missed one game, and he doesn't miss that shot. It's their first goal of the final term. It stems the bleeding somewhat, but they're still a long way back. 39 points down. Deer Park 12-7-79, Spotswood 5-10-40. Halfway through the last quarter in the Division 3 Grand Final, Auburn-Vale peg a goal back. They're 17 points behind. 9-7-61 Glen Orden.
Just down here in the bench, on the Deer Park bench, guys, Jack Redpath's all done for the day. His work done. Knee all iced up with her. Quite a significant amount of ice. But no, his contributions today have done a great job for Deer Park, and he'll be good to go for next week's grand final.
Thanks, Nick. Ball back in the middle. 39-point lead to the Lions. 15 played now of this final quarter. Thrown back up. Del Grosso in the ruck against Kelm. Kelm wins that down. Paddock, can he gain possession? Can. On his left boot. Kicks it in the O'Brien direction. Had too much on it. Williams goes back. Murray Boyd comes up from full forward. He's there with Greenhoff. He got a handball away. Almost chopped off there by Harrison. Couldn't. Ball's outside 50 now. Paddock gets it. Kicks a grubber inside 50. Nastasi used a little bit of trickery there. On his left boot. Can they get two in a row? For the first time this afternoon, they can. Charlie Nastasi gets it. It's a 33-point lead to the Woodsman. To the Lions. 12-7-79 to 6-10-46. 16 played final quarter.
Well, if only those consecutive goals had come at this point in the third quarter, or even better, this point in the second quarter when the game was still on. Unfortunately, they've come when the game is well and truly gone. But they're still fighting this out, though, Spotswood, and that's a credit to them. They'll be pretty disappointed with this result, and their season is pretty much over. But they have battled hard in this final term, got a couple of goals, and who knows, they've got time to maybe get a couple more.
Well, they've limped to the finish line in the end, Spotswood. It's been a long season. The Lions with such depth. It makes all the difference over 25 games or however many you have to play to get a flag. It's shown today. It's arguable what their best 22 is, Deer Park. It just doesn't really matter. James ends up with the football. Could have given it off to Bruin, who deserves a goal. Kicks to full forward, and there's going to be a free kick to the Woodsman. They rush the kick, though, out of defence. Harrison spoiled over Baxter Norton, close to the boundary line. Hines mops up. Down the line now. It's a good kick. Hodgson weaves inboard to Jordan Boyd. Gives it to Nastasi. He's kicked a couple. Baxter Norton, Salt Cratharis cold. And then a tight kick inside 50. Calm on hands and knees, gets it. Gets up again. Works it back to Knight. Now to Williams. Steps around O'Brien. Kicks in the Greenhoff direction. A little too much on it. Del Grosso was there. Marks overran it. Wants to get the hand pass again now. He runs to 48 on the run. And then he messes up the shot. Out of bounds on the full.
Guys, Jordan Boyd coming off the ground looks like maybe a significant hamstring or potentially a groin injury. He's in a lot of pain, grimacing quite a lot as he's coming off the bench.
Might be somewhere around the groin that's famously painful. Who knows?
Williams with the free kick goes out to McCarg. They look to go to switch. Short ball over the top to Bruin. Been brilliant this afternoon as Max Bruin. He marks right half back, out of side. There he goes short to Clicks. 18 gone now, final quarter. 79 playing 46. It's the Lions by 33 points. 7th straight Premier Grand Final appearance awaits them. Altona are waiting for them to be played here next Saturday afternoon.
And there's no doubt which side Altona would have preferred to play, and it's not Deer Park. They won't be too thrilled with this result.
Lions have turned it over, ends up with Paddock, kicks inside 50 in the O'Brien direction. Williams did really well, has worn him like a glove all afternoon, as Trent Williams. And the Lions look to repel. They kick it to centre wing. It's a fortunate kick. It's come off. The Lions move it back inboard to McCarg inside the centre square. It's got 2 Lions out wide, sits it up. Clicks took a really good mark
Good
there.
grab.
Harrison's free. Clicks went the underground handball, but he stuffed that up, but he goes back and picks it up now and gets a hurry kick. It'll just sit outside 50. Kratharis got a poor bounce, but Marks didn't. Got a handball to Coper. Goes into the centre square. Paddock marks, sweeps a handball to Nastasi. Looks to get around Mills. He does. On his left side, goes in the O'Brien direction. Had to fist it away. Ball bounced under Kelm. Eventually he can pick it up. Got it to Jake McKenzie. Harrison out wide marks. Looks to play on. Has a bounce. He's got runner outside. Uses him there. Galea from outside 50. Centering ball in the James direction. Well done, Matson Lynch. Good fist away. Amarati's got 4 to beat. Can't do that. Harley Walsh comes in and helps out. Handball went looking for Williams. Missed him. Goes out of bounds. Throw in 25 out from the Lions. Goal in the right forward pocket.
Both Yacarino and Cooney are standing up near the boundary line, suggesting that maybe they might come back on. I don't know whether they're just standing there just because they don't want to sit down, or whether there is a chance they might come back on. I don't know, but they've certainly looked pretty done at 3/4 time.
Del Grosso goes up unopposed in the ruck, wins it down to Coper, got the clearance out of defence. The only one waiting there is Max Bruin. Gives it to Barling. Sweeps the hand pass forward, searching for McCarg. Too much on it. McCarg becomes tackler. O'Brien released. Forward of the plate, and Nastasi takes a bounce. He's being aggressively pursued by Barling, who almost got him. Nastasi kept running. Dribbles a kick to Callard at full forward. And then in the end, Mills mops up. Sweeps the hand pass back towards Quick. Now to Williams. Straight down the guts for Greenhoff. And again, they escape danger. Deer Park out wide to Kratharis at left half back.
Kratharis takes the mark in front of Paddock. Chips it over the top for James. Absolutely no hurry are the Lions. They'd be happy to chip it around for the next 6 minutes if they could.
Yeah, they don't want to cop any injuries now. They don't want anyone to overextend themselves. They don't want soft tissues.
He went short to James.
Thought that was probably 15. They pay so much shorter than that.
This is very much cue in the rack time for Deer Park. They are an older side and they have had their injury problems themselves. They don't want to add to that now, so they'll just be playing with the handbrake on, I think, for the last 5 minutes or so.
Cal and the Mills are getting peppy. They love it and they do it all afternoon. But Mills wrapped up in a tackle immediately, and we'll get a ball up right in front of 6-time Premiership coach Mark Bullen of the Lions.
It's been good today, Mills. He gives them a really big body in close.
Tossed up, bit of a nil or draw. Clicks rides the tackle of Marks. Yeah. Ball up, still in front of the Lions, interchange bench.
Not long left at Whitten Oval. It's an 18-point lead to Glen Ord, and they're closing in on a premiership, a famous premiership for the Hawks.
Fair effort by the Hawks. Tossed up. Kelm wins it. Mills again. Jeez. He gets the clearance. Oh, Galea with some courage. You don't want to do that too late in the game, do you? Off hands. Good effort, though, wasn't it? And him and Lynch, Kieran Lynch, pat on the back. It's a good contest between the two of them as we get a throw in left half forward.
Yeah, as I said before, there's still Deer Park players here who are fighting for a spot for next week. Not all of them are guaranteed, so Not all can afford to go easy in these last couple of minutes.
From the restart, clicks at the bottom of the pack. We get a ball up.
Guys, just some more Deer Park players who are getting set up for next week. Kwame McCarg's had his calf iced up with some tape, as well as Chris Stewart, who's got his left quad iced up as well.
From the ball up, Norton. It's the clearance up towards half forward. Murray Boyd missed it. Callard gets onto it. Running onto the football is Harley Walsh. Quick closely checks him. Soccer out of midair was searching for Testa. Nastasi's there as well. Knight gets onto the football. Paddles it out to Harrison at right half back, searching for Bruin. Works the 1-2 with Harrison again. And Harrison's off down the outer side. He takes 3 bounces. 4 bounces, gets to 70 out. He doesn't take another. He kicks a wobbly old punt inside 50. Galea gets onto the football. Britton runs into about 4 Woodsmen, and then it's picked up by Williams, who just bundles a kick out of defence. Baxter Norton's got to get away from Mills. Mills is still battling hard, and now Toby Coper, 70 metres from his defensive goal, kicks beautifully down the wing. Callard was interfered with by Barling, and he'll win a free kick.
Had a quiet day, Callard.
He's got a player loose inside the 50. Will it get there? Back with the flight, quick, not quite. Hodgson's there as well, and here's Max Bruin. He's been everywhere. Backtracks to Williams. Off a step, off balance. Glorious kick to Kelm, who marks at the defensive 50. Mark Bruin just wants them to slow it down.
Mark Bullen.
Max Bruin.
I said Bullen.
Max Bullen. Oh,
Mark Bullen. Max Bruin.
Mark Bullen was on the boundary line motioning to slow things down. That's what I thought you were talking about, Pep.
Yeah, that's what I said.
James direction, couldn't take the mark.
Let's have a fight about it.
Stasi. Can't be much time left in the preliminary final. The Woodsmen go inside 50. The mark's taken by Dylan Callard. 50 from goal, but hard up against the boundary line in the right forward pocket.
Tensions flaring in the commentary box.
No, there's no tensions.
Well, unleash on each other next week.
Coming the end of a long season.
So Callard's got it. The Woodsmen are going to go down in the preliminary final. Goes to the goal. It's a beautiful kick. Late goal there for Dylan Callard. Makes the score 17-52. The Woodsmen, Deer Park 12-7, 79. 27-point lead at the 25-minute mark. Deep in the time on. Lions going for 7 straight. It's going to be a big game next Saturday here at Avalon Airport Oval.
Great goal by Dylan Callard, but a pity for him and for Spotswood we didn't see something like that a bit earlier. He's been pretty quiet today, and he is one of their key forward targets, and he hasn't offered a whole lot other than that. So, yeah, great effort there. Great example of what he can do. Just disappointing from their point of view that they didn't see more earlier.
So it's a 27-point lead to Deer Park. There's a bit of confusion about the 6-6-6 going on back in the middle. If they knew how long was left, they'd just get on with it.
Yeah, does it matter? Just blow the siren.
27-point lead to the Hawks. Late in the final term. Up they go. Kelm wins it down. Amarantidis gets onto it. It would be so unusual to see any other team other than Deer Park in a grand final in the Western Region Football League. And we'll be blessed to see it again. They dismantle Spotswood in the prelim. The Lions 27 points. In the end, the margin flatters the Woodsmen. Jack Redpath kicked 5 goals. He stood up in the absence of Jace Perkins, and they'll hope he can do it again next week. They'll have to take on Altona, and I'll have to beat them for the first time in 2019 to claim a 7th straight premiership. 12-7-79 Deer Park, Spotswood 7-10-52. The Lions led by a goal at quarter time, by 22 at half time, by 40 at 3/4 time, and we're in cruise control to win by 27 points.